Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal, Adab, and a good evening to all the viewers of Mana TV and Mana TV International. You're watching Community Special with Jyotsna. And today is again a special day because we have an interesting topic to talk about. We all have believed in the primitive system of treatment. India has been a wonderful country who has given the concept of Ayurveda to the whole world. Nowadays, people are shifting their mindset to treat themselves with Ayurvedic medicines. And it's not just that about nowadays. If you speak about Indian community as such, our Ayurvedic herbs are at our home. In our daily cooking, we use most of the things which are good for us. But then Ayurveda as a treatment and as a scope where we find a lot of immunity boosting treatments through Ayurveda, or in general, how we support our immune system by Ayurveda is something interesting to know about. With this COVID situation going around, people had been resorting to using different kind of things and concoctions, and it's all a part of Ayurveda. Today, we are going to talk about supporting our immunity with Ayurveda. And to talk on that, we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Vaidya Anjumji Nadaf. She is a BAMS and a FAAPNA. Vaidya Anjumji Nadaf is a classically trained Ayurvedic consultant practicing from past 16 years. She has completed Bachelor's of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery from Rajiv Gandhi University in India. She is also a Fellow of Association of Ayurvedic Professionals of North America. She is a certified yoga instructor from Swami Vivekananda Yoga Anusanandana since 2004, and she is a faculty at many organizations and academics. She dedicates her time in various organization groups as a volunteer, and one of them is Council of Ayurvedic Research. She has been recognized as registered Ayurvedic doctor from NAMA and registered Ayurvedic practitioner from APNA since 2016. She is a healer and a well-versed in Nadi Pariksha, that is pulse analysis, and she's constantly representing herself in various international conferences of Ayurveda organized through the world. Some of the papers she presented are Osteoporosis and Approach in Ayurveda, Marma, that is acupressure and vital points for healing, psoriasis and its management in Ayurveda, and then Shirodhara, a bliss and its benefits of stress, and then upcoming conference of hers is about insomnia, the insufficiently sleep disorders, basically, that will be coming up in August. And presently, where the Anjum Nadaf is currently working at Vedic Store, located at Edison, New Jersey, as an Ayurvedic consultant. Vedic Store, the vedicstore.com is a place to connect with these people as well. And now, Anjumji, namaskar, and welcome to our community special today.
Namaste, good evening all. Thank you, Jyotsna, for your kind introduction. Thank you, Mana TV, for inviting me on the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Anjumji, of course, I read a great introduction about you, but I would like to know your journey, your successful journey as a Vaidya in the field of Ayurveda. You being a wonderful practitioner, and you've been doing so many things. We would like to know how come this interest came in your life, and what is the story all about going into the Ayurvedic field?
Yes, Jyotsna, I am grown up in Karnataka, and all my schooling, everything is done in Bangalore. I'm from Karnataka, and I graduated in 2004 in Ayurvedic medicine. And after I completed my second year, I think I have been chosen to be a healer from the beginning. That is what I feel, because from the child itself, I had a lot of attachment, emotions, and I would not like to see anyone suffering. That was my thing, and I always wanted to be a doctor. And so that's how I landed up in Ayurveda. Little I knew not much about Ayurveda at that time. But when I started, when I joined college, and more interest grew up in me, and this is such a wonderful science. When you start utilizing for yourself, and then you see a result, then the confidence and the interest to learn more grows as it is, So I completed in 2004, and then I did my yoga therapy course also. Very soon in my internship itself, I started working in nursing home and hospitals. Apart from that, I also had my Ayurvedic clinic where I used to practice classical Ayurveda. So I moved to USA 10, 11 years back along with my husband. And from past 7 years, I have been working with the Vedic store, which is located in Edison, as you said, New Jersey. So here I see all kinds of clients here of all ages. And my main focus here is to educate people regarding the diet skills and the lifestyle skills, what they can do based upon the disturbance they have in their body. I recommend them those herbs and other things. My main focus is to educate clients about prevention rather than illness.
Absolutely.
And I think Ayurveda's motto is also the same. So,
Very nice.
being the integral part of Ayurvedic healing community right now, my main focus is to keep my community and people, whoever I know and whoever approach me, to give them a holistic approach of this science and keep them healthy. This is my motto. And I think I'm following the Ayurveda motto, which says, it's a Sanskrit shloka. It says like, Swastasya Swastha Rakshanam. That means you protect one's own health, not protecting the people who are diseased. See, Ayurveda is so deep. It says protect your own health first and increase your longevity, to increase your lifespan. Then comes Aturasya Vikara Prashamanam. Then comes you reduce the disease affecting factors. So that's what I am just following, that I always want to help people and guide. I think I've been blessed to be in Ayurveda field and to serve the community.
Awesome. That is amazing. Very nice concept and a great belief system. And you are a true healer, It's a holistic approach when we speak about, and you holistically are a wonderful human being from that perspective. I must say that. I mean, I had met you earlier, and of course, with my own personal experience with you, it has been, extremely wonderful. So, Anjumji, now, for the people, general public really doesn't understand the principles and the concept of Ayurveda. They would think, okay, Ayurveda, okay, just gulp some herbs, turmeric, take some ginger, take some honey, and they just restrict their thinking something there only. But Ayurveda has fathered the modern allopathy also, I would say, from a perspective. There are a lot of things, elements in Ayurvedic medicine and herbs that are being used in the different sciences and medicines, So please show some insight, guide us about these principles of Ayurveda, basically, and the concept of Ayurveda.
Sure. So Jyotsna, before we begin any session today, I would like to read the disclaimer. The information provided in this program is exclusively for education purpose only, and it is not to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. We are not endorsing any health product or any health professionals. I'm not a registered medical doctor, and before taking any supplements or making any changes in your diet, please consult your primary care physician.
Absolutely.
Well said that, I would tell you what Ayurveda says. It's that Ayurveda, it's a very old science system originated in India 5,000 years back. It is having two Sanskrit words, Ayu and Veda. Ayu means life, Veda means knowledge. It is the science of knowledge. And the concept based in this Ayurveda is like everything in this universe is made of Pancha Mahabhutas. The living things, non-living things, plant, animal, everything. The only difference between we living and non-living thing is the soul. So as we know that everything is made out of 5 Mahabhutas, so when these 5 Mahabhutas are phase, 5 elements it is called. Sorry, I used a Sanskrit word. So those who don't know, 5
Mahabhutas. You use the generic terms will be great.
So these are the 5 elements like space, air, fire, water, and earth. These 5 elements, depending upon the permutation and combination, when they enter our body, they form 3 bioforce energy, which is called Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. I would like to share a screen with you, with your permission.
Sure. Vata, Pitta, and Kapha is basically what exactly you said?
Yeah, what is the element? What is the, like it has a space and air element. Pit, it has fire and water element. And Kapha, it has water and earth element.
Okay.
So I would, based on this, the body, prakriti, everything is done, you know. So this is a very deep science, and when we go in deeper and deeper, it's like so beautifully explained how different personalities are made. And I would like to show you the screen a little bit.
On the basis of Vata, Pitta, and the Vayu, these three traits, basically the base personalities are differing. You know, you are meaning to say that all human beings are, their personality types can be divided on the basis of these three elements?
Yes, that's true.
Well, my viewers, it is a very interesting session today. Having said that, I must tell you, Ayurveda and the principles of Ayurveda, how immunity can be boosted, how you can stay healthy and not get grave kind of diseases. There is a lot to learn and understand, and who else than having an expert with us, you know, who can guide us. So we have Vaidya Anjum Nadafji here. She is definitely going to throw a lot of light on the basic principles and the treatment and modalities and the kriyas, you know, which we can pursue in our lifestyle. You know what? Doctors and engineers are different by nature.
Yeah.
So, of course, there would be a struggle when we go to the space.
So I was coming back, like everything in the universe is made up of 5 Mahabhutas, and when this enters in our body, 3 by 4 energies are formed, which is called Vat, Pitta, and Kapha.
Right.
Vat is having the more components of ether and the space. Okay. So what is this Vat? What is its function in the body, right? See, we are doing respiration, inspiration, excretion, and then our heart is beating. We are blinking our eyes. All these actions, whatever it is gone, it governs all the movements of Vata. Whatever we are doing, movements is governed by Vata. And this Vata sometimes goes out of control because of not taking food which we are supposed to take according to the Vata personality. So when it goes out of balance, these Vata people will have problems like anxiety, depression, they will have pain in the joints, you know, insomnia, their worry, fear, all these things they will have. So we can go in detail later bit. And then you can, some herbs like ashwagandha comes helps you relax the person, and then some procedures like abhyanga, all those things come based on what it is need. We decide as a practitioner, we decide to the patient, sorry, client. So pitta's function is what? Pitta, it is gives color, complexion to your body. The digestion is happening in the body, metabolism, okay, assimilation, and the pitta is also like maintaining your body temperature. All this is happening because of pitta. And when you are not taking food which suits a pitta personality, and you end up eating too much spicy, sour, fermented food, this pitta goes out of balance. So this out of balance, when it goes, it creates problems like ulcers, migraines. Then you will have some stomach upsets. You will have breathing problems, and mentally they're more angry, irritated. Okay.
Wow.
And the Kapha personalities, they these people are really calm, and they are very very good to go with this personality. I like Kapha people very much because we can go smoothly with them. It's not that the pittas are bad or vata is bad or anything like that. Pittas are really very intelligent. They have like a lot of reasoning, questioning. Anything you see a computer or anything, the technology, what we have, this pitta mind, you know. So they are always well organized. These are the qualities they have. And kapha persons, because you see the stability in the joints, and they supply water to all the organs of the body. And when this kapha, when it's having its doing its function, and when it goes out of balance, there are a lot of functions which I don't want to go in detail because it becomes a very big topic for this itself. So when this goes out of balance, when kapha person is eating too much madhura ras, that is sweet food, and divasapna, that is he's sleeping a lot, all this and lethargy, couch potato, not doing anything active. So this kapha gets aggravated, and this kapha, when it goes out of balance, these people generally they're very calm and they are containment. They are self happy, so they are like become more envious, greedy, and in the disease like they have like. They have problems like diabetes, asthma, obesity, all these problems will come. So this is
Amazing.
the concept of Ayurveda. It's a very huge,
Amazing. Amazing.
huge to understand in just 5 minutes of topic. We are not doing any
It's,
justice
I
for
mean, we
this.
would never think about that the whole personality is the body types have been distinguished on the basis of three basic elements. Normal people wouldn't be able to understand that, okay, I have a pitta personality or somebody has a kapha personality, and everything is governed there. It's amazing to know the science of Ayurveda, you know. Oh my God, it's amazing.
True, Josna.
So,
That
yeah,
is why once you know your body type, then you can use the food, satna to your body. Then you know exactly, okay, I am a pitta vata person. See, it is not just vata pitta kapha. We have like dual also. It can be vata pitta kapha, or kapha vata.
oh, we can
And
have a combination, you say?
combination also, one
Okay,
will be always dominant. And we
okay.
will have three also in equal quantity. That is very rare. It is called Sannipataja.
What are
So
those
that
people called as? I'm wondering then.
so they are called the healthiest people. So which is rare to find also in this
Hmm.
scenarios we are going through in the life with the stress and other things. So yeah.
Wow. Interesting. So, Anjumji, now you understand, the situation right now with COVID coming into picture. And in fact, now, of course, New Jersey and New York has seen lesser cases. Now things are settling down, but all over America, other places, the cases are increasing now. And even in India, if you look at it, oh my God, it's miserable. Now, everybody is resorting to drinking some kadas, but I believe, according to the personality types, I think we will get into the details. Will it be effective for everybody at large? So about boosting the immunity during the COVID-19 situation, we would need some insights from you, some guidance from you. What is the best regimen to follow, our daily schedule, lifestyle, and immunity boosting things, or herbs or medicines that we can take basically?
Sure. The immunity itself is a very huge topic in Ayurveda. So it's not like a gross. So what is this immunity? This is nothing but body's self-defense mechanism to fight against disease. Now you see in example in the COVID-19, what is happening? Is everyone falling sick? No, right? Only few are falling sick. Why is that? Because the immunity is playing a role. If your immunity is strong, you are asymptomatic. And if your immunity is less, you will have mild and moderate symptoms, and then your body will fight back against it, right?
Right.
And if your immunity is not good, then you are ending up in hospitalization, ventilation, and all. So this COVID has now brought a very good thing that people are understanding how this immunity is increased, can be increased, and how it is affecting. And people are becoming more. I have never seen anyone becoming more conscious than what this time it is. Everybody wants to be healthy now. So Ayurveda prospect in the Ayurveda, immunity is not just by popping up your supplements, then you are going to get OJs. There are a lot of things to be seen before that. How to keep yourself healthy. Okay. So in
So you were
Ayurveda,
speaking about ojas basically.
yeah,
What
I
is
was
ojas
coming to that.
basically?
Immunity in Ayurveda is nothing but it is called Ojas or Vedic Shamatva. Ojas, it is a vigor, vitality. It is the essence of kapha, which we talked just now, right? The
Right.
Vatapit kapha. This is the essence of kapha. Okay, this will, if
Okay.
Ojas is really good in your body, then you are very healthy. And this Ojas, body and mind, both it will be there. Okay, if your Ojas is down, then your body will not have any mechanism to support it. And this can be this, what is this ojas? You might be thinking, what is this? I'm not able to understand what is this.
Right.
I
I
will
mean, these are new terms for us.
yeah. Simple example, like see, you know ghee and you know milk, right?
Right.
So ghee is the essence of milk. Like milk, when you boil it, what you will get? Cream. And then cream, when you melt it, again you will get ghee. That is the I'm just telling you how you can relate and how you can understand.
Right.
This ojas will be good only if your Agni is good. Okay. So if your Agni is not good, then you will not have a good Ojas. They're interrelated. You may say, I'm eating healthy
So
food.
Agni in the sense would be the fire to digest
Agni
food or
means digestive fire. Yeah.
digestive
The
fire.
fire we
Okay.
need, yes, the fire we need to cook the food inside our stomach. That is a term for
Yeah,
Agni.
for the
Agni.
general masses, we have to simplify it. Basically, we're talking about Agni in the sense is the fire system in our body, which puts into the entire digestion into good order. Is if Agni or the digestion system is not good, then the ojas or the immunity is not good.
Correct.
So
You may be eating any amount of healthy, nutritious food. You may say, "Oh, what are you saying? I am eating always healthy food. I am eating nuts. I am doing that. I am eating that protein, this protein." But you are not having Agni. It's a simple thing. You need to understand. If you are not able to eat and digest it, it's of no use. You know. So Agni plays a very important role. Whatever you eat food, and if you have a good Agni, then what does that Agni do? Whatever food you ate gets converted into nutrition. And then what happens is that your tissues get nourished one by another. We have 7 tissues, which is called Rasa to Shukra. I'll go one by one. Rasa is plasma, Rakta is blood, Mamsa, muscle, Medha, fat. You can imagine like you have a
I'm trying
skin,
to relate it now, right?
and then you have muscle, then you have fat, then you have
Tissues,
bone.
fat,
So
muscles, right?
Asti is the bone, and then you have bone marrow inside, which is called majja, and then shukra, which is called. These are the 7 dhatus. They get nourished one after another. Okay. Then that at the end, what you are having, that ojas is circulating all over the body. Okay. So if this will happen only if you have good Agni.
Understood.
Yeah. So if you have a manda Agni, that means if you have less Agni, and how much ever nutritious food you eat, that will not get
You're not
digested.
basically able to digest it properly, right?
Yeah. So this food, whatever you ate, will stay in your stomach, and then it will ferment, and then it will leave toxins. Okay.
Wow.
And that toxin, the byproduct of food, is called ama in the Ayurveda. This ama is the root cause of all disease. That simple it is. Okay.
Matlab,
So we should.
simple philosophy is if you don't eat right things and if your body is not able to digest, the culprit is stomach.
Correct.
All right.
Root cause of all disease is the ama, the toxic. Okay. Imagine that we generally do this kind of things. Okay. You have eaten food which is not digested yet. You know that. But somebody is offering you pizza and samosa. You would not resist it, right? What would you do?
Absolutely.
Okay, let me have a bite. And then you eat, right?
Right.
You know doing the mistake is called pradyaparada in Ayurveda. Okay. So we do this, and then we repent also later, but it is too late. Okay. But
Okay.
our stomach has no Agni, and then this is again going inside, staying, fermentation, toxin, everything. Then it is circulating throughout the body.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. Manda Agni means less Agni should not be there, and too much hyper Agni also should not be there. Okay, hyper Agni means too much Agni. What happens? Imagine you are cooking food with a high flame. What is happening?
It'll get burned.
That food?
It'll get burned.
Yeah, the same thing is happening in the stomach. So when your food is burnt, how can it nourish your dhatus, the tissues, which we spoke one after another, they get nourished, right? So that is also not happening. So we need Agni to be equal, which is called Sama Agni. And Ayurveda says the definition of health is those who have Sama Dosha, Sama Dhatu, Sama Agni. Sama Dosha means dosha, we discussed about it, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha.
Right.
Sama Dhatu means the 7 tissues which already we discussed from
Sama means
Rasa.
equal amount of these things, like balanced things, basically. Balanced. Okay.
We have Sama Agni, that means the one we have Jhatra Agni, we have 13 types of Agni. So one is in the stomach, and we have at the cellular level, tissue level, okay? And Bhutagni and Dhatva Agni. And then Malakriyaha means the one who has sweat and who passes his bowel and urine. That person is having his indriyas will be good, his health will be good, his mental state will be good, his physical and physiology all will be good, and that person is healthy. This is the definition of Ayurveda, which
Wow.
states about the health.
All right.
Okay, I wanted to share one picture about
Sure, please.
about the ama, right?
Sure,
So I
sure.
would like to show the viewers what ama is. I know they are still confused, or
Yeah,
they may
ama
think,
means our digestive state being depicted.
yeah, correct.
I'm learning a
So
lot of good things from you right now, and it gets confusing to understand those technical terms, but we are coming to the core because none of us, we are Indians, of course, most of us, Indian Americans here, we still have not understood the essence of Ayurveda. And our whole lifestyle has been governed in the primitive times, our ancestors and all. That's our Dadi Ma ke nuske have worked till date, because they were more aware of everything, and we have just forgotten about our tradition, our this rich knowledge, this universe of knowledge, which people, researchers, international organizations are researching on now. And that's where it is, it's good to understand these things from basics from you. And I understand one session is not really sufficient to have this understanding. Probably I'll have to call you for many other sessions for that, from that perspective. But right now, yes, COVID being in picture and everything, I thought, okay, let's educate. Not everybody drinking the same kadha would be treated,
the Kada will help. That no doubt the Kada is going to help. But I have seen seeing in my patient that clients that they are drinking too much Kada, thinking that they are going to become very healthy, and eating too much like Doctor Vaidya, we are taking 3 to 4 times Kada. And I had one client who was saying that I am having a lot of mouth ulcers in my mouth.
Wow.
So I just asked her, "Are you drinking Kada too many times?" Then she said, "How did you get?"
The concoction is working in different directions. Too much heat produced by the drinking those concoction, these kadas basically. We now
Based on
understand.
potency also, we need to do little bit changes in the kada also. If you
Understood.
are like a pitta person, no, you don't need to do too much heating to your
I
body.
will ask you those specific questions. If you're a pitta person, what kind of kada? If you're a kapha person, what kind of kada? And these are the things basically will guide my audience and give a ready input right now. So, anyways, we would like to see your ama thing. Which you were showing us and guiding us. Interesting to know right now. It's getting interesting now. In fact, a lot of people, are also watching you live on our social media as well. And in fact, for other people.
Yeah, ama is nothing but the toxic. Because of less agni, the food doesn't get digested, stays in your stomach, and the toxins which are produced is called ama.
Ama.
So now you may think, oh my God, what is this ama? How will I know? Where will I go if I know that I'm doing all these mistakes? I'm eating heavy food. I'm not sleeping on right time. I'm eating around 10 o'clock, sleeping at 11 o'clock. These
Wow.
are all the lifestyle things. We are not supposed to do that. We are doing it, right? So I would like to say what happens when you have ama. First thing, you wake up in the morning, look at your tongue, how it is.
Mm-hmm.
You see that there is a coated so much.
Yes,
That gives you
very badly quoted.
yeah. And what are the other? There are a lot of other symptoms which I will go. When you are having ama, so when you wake up in the morning, you're not energetic.
Mm-hmm.
You are feeling tired. You're fatigued. Okay, and even if I had a good sleep for 7 to 8 hours, you're still saying that I did not have enough sleep. Okay, you need a big glass of large coffee or maybe extra large coffee to keep you awake. I've seen clients who drink coffee till afternoon.
Yes.
So they need to keep themselves awake. That's the ama. That means when you wake up in the morning, if you don't have that enthu, you don't have that energy levels, your mind is having a lot of fogginess, you are confused. Okay, and also with the stool, how it looks based on the stools are generally they are very foul smelling, they are sticky, and the sink they stick to the sink. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then their smell, the body smells a lot, the sweat smells a lot, the urine is very dark, cloudy. These are the few ama lakshanas I'm remembering right now. And if this ama, if it is in a little quantity, you can always get rid of this by some detoxification and all. But over the period, it keeps accumulating. That is the problem again. So that is why there are a lot of joints problem, this muscle pain.
So basically, the toxins have gathered over the period of time, and that's how the tongue starts to show that you are having something wrong in your system. That's why this tongue is getting coated, right? Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So usually, I have a question related to this, Anjumji. People use tongue cleaners, and they clean their tongue every day.
Yes, that is a good habit. They have to do it because in the night when you sleep and wake up morning, you have a lot of bacteria accumulated, and we have some oil pulling and all, which I will tell you how to prevent yourself during COVID and all. We'll come back to it.
No, the only question was just cleaning the tongue is not cleaning away your digestive tract. It is just letting you know you are in trouble.
Yes, it is one of the rituals we do in the Dinacharya.
Right.
Dinacharya in Ayurveda, again, we have a big topic which tells you about how you start your day and how do you end your day. From starting to end, how you have to have your day is told in Dinacharya.
Yes.
So in there, they have mentioned about the tongue scraping. Yes, definitely. It will a little bit help you to keep your own cavities and all everything healthy. So what happened, Joshna, one of the conference when I was giving, and many people, the foreigners, all Americans are very much interested in to learn Ayurveda.
Absolutely.
So how many people of you here have ama? And like they were like looking at each other. And after that, I explained all the symptoms. Then like I asked the same question again. Now most of the hands were they raised their hands. 90% people. They really people need to be aware and we need to educate them. So that's where Ayurveda comes.
No, amazing, amazing. In fact, I have a whole big list of questions, Anjumji, even now. I know we have paucity of time. Another question that is coming to my mind is basically, about, detoxification and other system, where we clean ourselves for this ama and all. Is there any way out?
Yeah. So
I mean, eating the right kind of food, whole foods or grains and all. I mean, I need some inputs on that as well. And when we're speaking about digestive tract, it has to do something with our food habits as well, right? And everything.
So now you know that you have ama. Now what you will do? You'll be scared, go run around and go to oh my god, what am I do? Simple things you can do right from your house. Listen to your body first and foremost thing. If your body says, I'm not ready to eat a heavy meal, just give it a break. Don't force the body to eat the food. I'm always seeing this in the mothers who always keep forcing their kids to eat. How many kids? I'm never hungry. My mom gives me food. I am eating. So I say listen to your body and decide. You wake up in the morning and you feel today I am good. And if you feel good, you'll definitely feel hungry by. If you woke up at 6 or 5:36, you will be hungry by 8.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you will be, because that is the sign that your agni, your this body, everything is in the
digestion is in place. Everything is placed.
Yeah. So now you know that you woke up with lethargy, mental fogginess is there, all these things. Now you know what you have to do. So I recommend to sip warm water throughout the day or half of the day. This warm water, either you can just boil some ginger along with the water and sip. That will help your digestion.
Ginger and which other thing you said?
Just ginger. Just boil with water and keep drinking. Sip by sip,
Okay, just crush some ginger and just keep drinking. Okay, boil water.
I think that people don't know how to drink water also. They will drink like this, Each, like
I'm the biggest culprit here. You did that, I said, okay. All right.
Always sit down, calm, and then sip by sip, The lava means saliva should go along with your, every sip, the water should go inside.
Really? And what happens if somebody is drinking like this And gone.
They'll have the stomach issues. They'll have a lot of gas. There's indigestion. You know,
Wow.
uh, they have joint pains, and so a lot of research is also going on behind all this. What the Dinacharya has been told, in India, it is extensively it is going on.
Okay.
Yeah. So you were asking me something about the ginger, whether to crush it and
Ginger, yeah, I'm asking that you crush the ginger and then boil it and drink it. Like after boiling, you just drink that warm water until the afternoon, right? You're saying that.
yeah, it depends. Still, you feel hungry. Okay. And then, okay, now you have the day you have spent. Now you can say, like, okay, let me eat very dal ka pani, what you call that, lentil soup, or, very light, khichdi is really very good because khichdi gives,
So
kindles your
basically, this is
fire.
about ama detoxifying yourself and setting up. That's why you need to have these kind of things for digestion, basically.
Yeah. So you're doing Deepan Pachan, and Deepan Pachan means you're helping your digestion to kickstart.
Okay.
Okay.
Very nice.
So, yeah, then you can also use some herbs like cumin, pepper, ginger, turmeric, uh, yeah, the cardamom, and these are all Deepan Pachan, means they'll help you in digestion. You can use some
And how are we
coriander.
taking these herbs?
You can cook the food along with this
Okay.
herbs, or like you made the soup. You can add all these things because you know that today my day is not good. I'm feeling very tired, lethargic, and you're not hungry at all. Don't force and eat again heavy food. So give your body to relax and reset, and keep your kindle your agni more. So by doing this, by the afternoon, you will start feeling hungry, and then you will start your day with khichdi. Khichdi means, oh my God, khichdi is. Are you mad? We are not used to eat khichdi. It's the most healing and sattvic food I can tell you. Instantaneously, you will see how you are relaxed. It's
Wow.
such a beautiful. I add a little bit more ghee. Ghee is again, which does the deepan. Again, it does the pacham. Okay, and if there are too much ama, then you have like skin disease, arthritis, and all those things. Then you have to do panchakarma. Okay, the
Mm-hmm.
panchakarma is like 5 procedures we do, where if the toxins are too much accumulated, so we either make the induced vomiting in person, or we give purgation. Purgation means stools, like passing too many times stool, so that all the doshas get expelled out. Before that, we have procedures like Snehandina, Svedan, we have to do, and then we do the Panchakarma for 5 to 6 days, depending upon what the person
Mm-hmm.
is having from. Okay, at home, I
Interesting.
will try to give my viewers and a simple thing they can do at home. Just think that you have a weekend and you don't have any plans or you don't have any parties. Especially now, it's the best time.
Right.
5 days eating, 2 days you give rest to your body. Eat rest means not to fully you go for no what this one. You can just start your day with too much. Start your day with warm water, and then
Mm-hmm.
eat lots of fruits and eat lots of. And then you can have little this dal pani, the lentil
Right,
soup,
right, right, right.
have little khichdi, little quantity, not too much. And then you can take some herbs like triphala and other things to just to detox and expel out your toxins from your body. You can do this either like 3 days, you can do
Mm-hmm.
5 days, you have like 7 days, then you are giving your body to heal. Okay, and 7 days, and you can do 9 days, 11 days, and 21 days based on how you want your body to be detoxed. And you will see that after 2 3 days itself, you will see that your skin is glowing, and you look vibrant, your energy levels are up. At least these things I think everybody can do. Yeah.
Interesting. So there is a regimen of 5 days, 7 days, 9 days, 21 days,
Yeah,
as you
that's
said.
how person want to do. Most of the people whom I am suggesting is during the Christmas time. People are like 2 weeks off, Then
Right.
most of the client I am encouraging them to do detoxification. Just like the vehicle needs its maintenance, our body also need maintenance. Okay, So we
Any
are taking
specific
care of.
steps on these, the detoxification that you can consult, like people can consult you one-on-one for detoxification? Is it same for everybody, or, but I believe it will be different from everyone.
It will be little bit changes based on what the dosha is
What it is.
predominant, what is this one, what is imbalances in their body, and we have to take a lot of previous history, and we don't want to do extensive thing for the people who are having diabetes or blood pressure problems, and also we have to take a lot of things under
So
consideration.
expert advice is required. You cannot just do self-administration of these kind of things, basically.
Yeah, always consult. It's not that, okay, now I know I have heard this session for 1 hour, I have become again
Never.
mini white.
You were there, that's why. We have to consult people
We
like
are
you.
here- Yes, we are here to help you and guide you.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
definitely. we will be
Thank you.
there.
Thank you so much, Anjumji. I, in fact, have more questions as well regarding this COVID situation. Again, when we speak about, what are the specific regimen we can follow every day as of now, specifically for audiences, now everybody is concerned. Even people in India also, now the cases are increasing. We were speculating this virus apparently may die because of excess heat. Now it is summer here in US and it is extremely hot in India as well. But virus isn't getting destroyed anywhere, and it is just spreading like fire. So what could be the basic regimen we can follow and protect ourselves, increase some immunity, the basic regimen to just ward off this virus? Even we need to know from you.
Yeah, sure. I will tell you. See, this COVID-19, we mostly Vata and Kapha are the basic doshas which are involved in this. That is why body makes lot of mucus, A lot of mucus is there and fever and all those symptoms, as we already know. What we spoke earlier, that Agni, that we have to take care. And for that, Patya and Ahara, wholesome food and unwholesome food, we have to know. Very important. What is a good diet for us to eat? What is not good? What is sattvic food? If you understand, and then along with then some herbs and all, this definitely it is going to help you, because I told you in the beginning, Agni is very important. If your Agni is not good, your Ojas is not good, right?
So let's simplify the term Agni for my audience if they have missed the part. So Agni is basically the digestive fire. If your digestive fire is not good, then you are in big soup of your problems, basically. All right, big trouble.
Yeah, so I would like to just put a little bit light on what kind of food you should eat. The food, whatever you eat, should be satmya, that should suit your body. It should be warm. It should be having all 6 tastes. We have 6 tastes like bitter, astringent, pungent, sweet, salt, and sour. So Ayurveda says all these 6 tastes should be
Interesting.
there.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and Ayurveda also recommend eating food which is cooked in 48 minutes. I don't know how far now at this.
Eating food that is cooked in 48 minutes. We prepare fast preps, 2 minutes Maggie, 5 minutes, whatever, 10 minutes pizza. And khichdi also will get cooked in only 2 whistles,
Yeah, that is why everybody is having, most of the people, if you see the graph, how many autoimmune disease, how many metabolic disease, everything is increasing because the lifestyle is not good. We want to simplify our life only with the food. We don't want to wake up a little early and cook food. We can do that. We should know
what is the reason behind 48 minutes of cooking as we speak about. So it's like the slow cooking, does it nurture the food more?
Yeah, garam khana, After that, it is called again a little bit. It will have sattvic qualities, but again, agar aapko food nutritious, you want to get more sattvic, all the sages and all, they used to eat like this food. So the one which is cooked, at least what I am recommending here to my client, okay, I understand you're in America, you are not able to do all these things. At least cook the same day. I have seen people who are cooking for a week and refrigerating the food.
Absolutely.
Just imagine. Okay, and then you eat that food, and imagine what's happening in your stomach and how you are able to process it. The nutrients are lost. Okay. So this is the sattvic food, what Ayurveda recommends.
So your recommendation says every day cook fresh food, because refrigerated food will lose its nutrients and it can create vata dosha and other kind of doshas?
it is it has lost its all nutrients, and it is very hard to digest, and it is called as a rajasic and tamasic good. It has you means if you eat those kind of food, you will have more lethargy. You are not energetic. You are having lethargy, tiredness. Again, you are inviting the disease. You are making your agni go down, your ojas go down, your ama goes up. Now you understand my
I can
principle
understand
behind
everything.
now. Why? If I had explained you this now, you wouldn't have understood anything.
Absolutely.
Nobody
Now I
knows this.
get it.
I wanted to explain my viewers what is exact the concept is that Agni is very important. That is why we had to come all this way.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so then this kind of food, refrigerated food and all, they'll cause you like distension of your abdomen, gas, bloating, constipation.
Wow.
Eating too much. I see one more trend going on that eating too much raw food, raw food, raw food. They are drinking juice and all uncooked food. Not everybody has the agni. They can digest those kind of food.
So when we speak
So
about raw food, we are speaking about salads,
salads.
sprouts.
Sometimes you are eating too much of kale and the smoothies they are drinking.
Right.
Yeah, so this and salad sometimes, yeah. So they cannot. Some people like Vata people, their agni is very irregular. They cannot digest that.
Okay. So
Okay.
their digestive fire is very irregular, you're saying. So they can't digest it.
Yes.
Okay.
So Vata goes out of balance. Okay.
Wow.
And see, what Ayurveda says is that most of your cooking should be done in kitchen. Okay.
Hmm.
80% of your cooking is done in kitchen, and only 20% is done in the stomach, in the gut. And what we are doing, we are giving a load to our Agni. 100% if you put the load on your Agni, the Agni का काम सिर्फ digest करने में ही लगा रहता है.
Hmm.
And so that is not going to help you. That is going to
Oh, so
cause
the
you problem.
brain doesn't get the right kind of blood and this thing, energy, because
Yeah.
our stomach is taking all the energy to digest that food, which is heavy, which is not good. I get your point.
Where is the healing happening? The body needs healing also. That is why when we talk about the wholesome food, eat warm food with ghee and all, what are you doing? You are giving less stress on your Agni. So the Agni and other things can be taken care. The healing is started inside.
Right.
So if you put too much load on your gut, that is not good. And canned food, frozen food, and these
Right.
are all, and white flours, pizza, pasta, burger, refined sugar. These are
Wow.
not the company. So once in a while, if you want to change, you can have. At least for 5 days, 6 days, you follow this healthy lifestyle. And one day, if you do a cheat meal, then body will say, okay, you are taken care of me for 6 days. Let me
Right.
it's okay, I can balance you today, right? But you are always taking this, and then body will say, no, I cannot take care. Then you will have all the disturbance in
Amazing.
the
So this is how you are trying to strengthen here with this kind of food system and regimen you're talking about. So other regimen for this COVID-19 situation, and we are talking about what are the other things? I mean, I was reading about some oil pulling or nasya therapies also. People have allergies and everything. I would like to know more about them as well.
Sure. So the Nasya, see, as I told you, in COVID-19, it's a more you have less immunity, and then you have like cold, cough, and this kapha is too heavy, and
Right.
it's sticking. And you have sinus problem and your fever. More of kaphaja, and there is a dosha. The vata dosha is also aggravated in this.
Mhm.
So first thing what you can do, start sipping the warm water, which I told you that will again kindle your doing Agni and all. Then you can use herbs, which I told, and then you can do Nasya. Nasya is nothing but putting 2 to 3 drops in your nose, which reaches your brain.
Drops of what?
Okay, pardon?
2, 3 drops of water or what?
No, 2, 3 drops of oil. You
Okay.
can use like coconut oil, sesame oil, or you can use even ghee. You can do this twice a day. People who are having a lot of congestion, their sinuses are blocked,
Right.
their nose is blocked. You try today. If somebody is having today any problem, just ghee. I think everybody has the sesame oil or coconut oil. Is I think everybody has it. You have
Right.
too much blockage and you're not able to breathe. One nose is closed, another nose is not open. So just put 2-3 drops. You can there'll be in a dropper. Just put that in a warm water and make it like in a liquid consistency. Ghee always the ghee.
Okay, so don't put these things directly, but mix it with water and then put it. You are saying that 2-3 drops.
No. You're putting as it is. I'm just telling you to use a dropper. Or you can use water.
And one more question is, I've seen some people using mustard oil. Is it safe? Mustard oil in the nose.
Heating, and now we are in summer. I don't advise. And
no, you are saying, okay, mustard oil, you are saying it has a hot temperament? It's not great?
Yeah. Hottening. And now it is summer. Don't use it now. You can use it in the winter time.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Now the best is, ghee is the best now. Or
coconut oil. Okay.
Yeah. And this helps you and congestion and all. And then you see a lot of people who are suffering from sinuses and all. They will see they'll be able to breathe, It's been long time. They're always breathing from their mouth. I have to tell them, can you please close your mouth and try to breathe through your nose. Try to breathe your nose. Practice your mind, because they're so used that they have forgotten how to breathe.
Wow.
So this you can do, and then you can do oil pulling. Oil pulling is called Gandusha or Kavala in Ayurveda. So for this also you can use the sesame oil.
What is basically oil pulling? If you can just expand this term basically for us, for our viewers.
First thing in the morning when you wake up and when you finish all your bowel movement, everything. Then when you finish your dantadhavana, that is all brushing, then you can just take this oil. As it is, you can take. And
any oil you're saying, like mustard oil, coconut oil or ghee? Coconut oil. Sesame oil. Okay, sorry, not ghee.
Or we have medicated oil pulling mouth swish also, which is having a base, definitely oil, and then they have some herbs in case people are having any problems with the oral and all, dental caries and all. So it's very beneficial. And
so basically what we do is oil pulling is you take this few drops of this oil in the mouth, or what?
Yeah, just take a half a teaspoon, or you can also mix it water if you don't want to do like that, just putting oil. I generally take oil in my mouth and then rinse it. Swish it for 2 to 3 minutes in your mouth.
Okay.
Just swishing it 2 to 3 minutes.
But if you don't like that oil taste, we can mix it in warm water or any water, cold water, warm water.
Yeah, initially to practice yourself, you can do it. Yeah, you can do it. Then spit it out. So even if you spit it out and then just again gargle with warm water, and then you have tongue scraper. That is also a good regimen.
So what happens with this oil pulling? What all things are getting helped through this oil pulling? I would like to know, especially during COVID situation. You're saying, because what helps?
Yeah, like when we sleep and get a lot of bacteria is accumulated in our mouth. We are just trying to help so that this is the kapha pradhana, and a lot of people will have this. They'll be like not that they are not clear, there's congestion and all, and because there is post nasal drip also. Everything is connected inside,
Right.
First you are doing you are again clearing all your blocks and all, and you are doing again this oil pulling. Again you are clearing all your throat and the cough, and this is also good for if you have any viruses or anything. It's good to cleanse your system, because we are swishing till you're the throat, you're not just
right.
Yeah. Then it helps you for that. And you can start taking a Chyawanprash. Chyawanprash is a really good around 49 ingredients are there in Chyawanprash, and amla is the one major ingredient in that.
Gooseberry, amla, right?
Is gooseberry, Indian gooseberry.
Okay.
So this is a very good for your
gooseberry. When you speak about, are you speaking about taking raw gooseberry, or we can take amla ka murabba, as they say, that sweetened gooseberry in a syrup that comes, or gooseberry powder? What all things would help, basically, if I would ask?
You can take amla as a form in powder. You can take tablets. You can take, or you can take amla juice.
All right.
Yeah, anything you can take amla murabba, and if you like too much, you have to see from what brand it is, how much sugar in this, unnecessarily why you want to put
right.
right? So yeah, I've seen some frozen amla also, and then freshly made. Nowadays everywhere it is very common that you are using amla. Amla juice is easily available everywhere. It's
Right.
available in Vedic also.
The
So you
Vedic
can.
store is also available. Okay. So from Vedic store, if we were to pick up certain things I'm talking about, or say from any Vedic Ayurveda shop, if we were to pick up certain things, what could be the names, like generic names for these oils or all the squishing, pulling, oil pulling stuff or nasya, any drops, specific drops are available in the market?
Just ask them. They will, yeah, it will be written Nasya only, and we will be. You can just ask the why they're there. They will guide you.
Okay,
And
perfect.
generally, yeah, if you, that's what I said. If you're not able to know anything, you have coconut oil. You know.
Okay.
So this Chyawanprash, we were talking about Chyawanprash. It has a lot of other herbs, like 49 herbs. As I told you, it has ghee, it is honey, it is called rejuvenating, it is called rasayana. Rejuvenating is nothing but rasayana. Rasayana means which nourishes our dhatu and they increase our ojas. And how to take this Chyawanprash is best thing to take in the morning. You
Hmm.
can also take 2 times. This is a little bit heavy, and then it is followed by drinking milk, which is again
Okay,
having
so
a lot of
drink it
protein.
in drink. Take 1 or 2 teaspoons of Chyawanprash in the morning and drink it with milk.
Just take 1 teaspoon. No
Oh,
need to take
1 teaspoon.
too
Okay,
much.
one
Taking
teaspoon.
is not going to give you any good result. Okay, today I'm
Okay.
let me drink this, that. So lifestyle. That is why we talk so much about lifestyle. So yeah, 1 teaspoon should be good, and you can either take 1 teaspoon in the morning or by 1 teaspoon in the evening around before, like when you have a tea time or like that, you can have and drink milk. Milk should be always Chyawanprash because it is also having a lot of ojas quality. Milk is good. So boiled and cooled milk, some people drink directly from the fridge, which is also not good.
And
You don't
one more
want any.
question about quality of milk when we speak about. How about when people think this is a pasteurized milk and they just put it in microwave for a 1 minute and drink? Is any nutritious value lost in that process or it is fine?
Um, I don't recommend microwave doing it. I would, however pasteurized it is, I still like to advise to boil the milk because it is again easy to digest.
Oh, is
Okay,
that so?
yeah, it is easy to digest when you boil the milk and drink warm water, warm milk. It is good. And again, what is that? Microwave will not do the justice.
Okay, microwave is not a good idea. Got your point.
Mhm.
Okay, so we have been committing these grave errors in our life throughout for many years. Being in USA, microwave comes very handy, and even in India also now people are resorting to the microwave food. How about food quality in microwave in that case? I'm generally curious to know. But does it create any vata dosha like gastric trouble when we microwaving food, as in when we are reheating the food?
Making more food dry and the water content is lost. You yourself see how you are making the microwave has a lot of radiations and all. So why use that when we have gas? Go back to the
We have
old system. Now
oven
everything
range, yeah,
old is
right, yeah,
coming, right?
gas range, right.
Yeah. Yeah, you are doing it won't take more than 2 or 3 minutes. Just switch on your gas and you can do randomly other things also. Uh,
Interesting. Thank you.
yes.
So now I have more questions. So we covered the concept for COVID, doing nasya, oil pulling using these simple oils. Then talking about kadha and turmeric milk. These two
Yeah.
important things also
I think
need.
very popularly now everybody knows turmeric milk, which is uh, very good for again can relieve all the kapha and congestion. So I would like to tell how to make it instead of people have different of ways of doing it.
Hmm. What is the right way?
Turmeric has a very good qualities of antibacterial, antiviral, antipyretics. Okay, and there's also a lot of research going on that is also anti-cancerous. Now,
Okay.
turmeric is become more and more popular, and we Indians generally use in all our cooking. So I would recommend that take a pan and add little turmeric boil them. You can add some cinnamon sticks and little black pepper, the peppercorns, one or two, and boil it nicely. And separately in another pan, boil milk, and then when this
No, sorry,
kada,
I missed the step now. You speaking about taking turmeric, some peppercorns, and little
yeah.
cinnamon.
So in
And
water,
how are we
add
boiling that in the pan?
yeah,
Are we
with the water.
with the water? Or little
Yeah.
water or
So
little
it
water?
starts boiling, then you can see that all this has left the Sara decoction is made. Then warm the water, sorry, milk separately, and then I mix it. That is, I like to do it
Any
that.
combination, like how many cups of this kind of water, boiled these herbs there? I mean, turmeric and all, and how much milk? Any ratio there? We were
No,
talking about
I
this kind.
think one glass should be fine. Yeah,
No, I mean
there's no.
to make 1 glass of this milk, basically, how much water are we taking to boil this stuff like that's
Uh,
turmeric and peppercorn and cinnamon, and
four
how much is
parts,
the
yeah,
milk?
you can do like this. Take 4 parts of water and add 1 teaspoon to 1.5 teaspoon turmeric and this peppercorn 2 to 3. If you're making for a family, then again,
No,
yeah,
you
this
can
should be
go for individual only. Okay, so we're talking 1 to 1.5 teaspoon of turmeric, 2 peppercorns, 1 stick of cinnamon,
cinnamon and boil it nicely for 10-15 minutes.
four
Then you will
four
see
parts of water. You were saying.
4 parts of water will be reduced to 2 parts.
Agreed. Okay, got it.
Okay,
So now it's
it has to
reduced.
reduce. Again, if it is very good, people like tougher people, they can digest more concentrated form. Okay, so that is what we were talking about the kada, right? So here, this is what we have to take care that if it is too strong, tougher people can maintain. If it is too pitta people cannot take this one, then they'll have like acidity has come over the
Oh, I
nose.
got it. So, okay, so different personality types will be able to have different types. So just keep it in balance. And how much milk are we taking here in these parts, basically?
Yeah, milk just take 1 glass and then I just add this kada. It's like for one person, 2 glass of water is sufficient. Then reduce to half glass and pour this water, half glass into the milk and again little bit boil and drink it with
Perfect, perfect. Interesting.
jaggery or honey.
This is an immunity booster milk, basically. Turmeric milk with peppercorns and cinnamon. Amazing. Some people
Yeah.
have heard that how they use turmeric milk, or we have seen is what they suggest is adding a half a teaspoon of ghee. In that ghee, they put this turmeric 1 teaspoon. They stir, they cook it a little bit, when it heats up in the pan, and when the turmeric turns little orangish in color, then they add the milk to it. Is it right way, or I mean, what is your suggestion?
That also you can do. I just if I want to add ghee and if I want to add ghee, I would not cook it. I would add it in the milk itself.
Oh, okay, okay. All right. Is there any specific reason to not heating the oil in the pan?
Ghee, why you want to boil it?
Okay, heat it.
Yeah,
All right. Got it.
yeah. We just want to melt it. We don't
Okay.
want to burn it. Yeah.
Okay. So we don't want to put the tadka kind of stuff in the turmeric, in the
Yeah.
milk, getting it. Okay. And
I wanted to recommend a few herbs also, like as now they have become very popular.
yes, please.
We have like guruchi. This guruchi is an immunomodulator. It is also guruchi is also known by many different names. It's called Giloy, Gado, Amrutaballi, Amruta. Okay, everything is
Guruji.
guruchi only. Okay, don't get confused. Oh, I'm not getting guruchi. I need Giloy
Getting it.
only.
Right, right, right. Okay, so
So
Guruji,
all the
how much can we take?
to boost up your immunity, you can take 1 to 2 tablets every day. You can take in a form of powder. It is very bitter. So if you can withstand that bitterness, go ahead with the powder, or you can take a tablet. And kids, who cannot take a powder tablet, for them, add this guruchi mixed with little bit honey, and you can give them. This is a very good immune boosting, immunomodulator. It's very good for diabetes also.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, and then comes the next herb. I would like to talk about ashwagandha. This ashwagandha is Dinospora cordifolia. Ashwagandha is Withannia somnifera. It is having the smell of horse. This is very rejuvenating herb in Ayurveda, and it has high level of cortisol, and it is a immunomodulator also, very good for building up your immunity. And apart from this, it's also since it is having high level of cortisol, it's very good herb for anxiety, depression, and sleep problems.
Wow, amazing! One herb, so many properties. So you're speaking, it's good for you.
Yeah, that is what the beauty of Ayurveda. That like just you give one herb for something else, and they say, "Oh, I slept so well, and I had amazing. My joints are feeling better." So it's so many qualities they have. We can't just pinpoint and say they say that okay, this one is for this one. No, and again different combination mixing with other herbs and how we are taking matters a lot. So their action again changes and everything.
Perfect.
So one herb has multiple benefits. Yeah, and this has to be taken because this is a little bit heatening. So I would recommend ashwagandha to be taken along with the milk.
Okay.
You can make ashwagandha tea with milk, just boil the milk, and then you can add this ashwagandha and stir it, and you can.
We usually get ashwagandha tablets. We see, capsules. We see, right? So ashwagandha comes in what else form? You were speaking about some powder here or drops?
We have powder form, we have tablet form, we have arista form. Based on what we
arista
want.
Is basically syrup you're talking about? They have a syrup form as well. Arista is syrup.
Fermented, yeah, it's fermented. Aristas are called fermented, and a little bit stronger, and actions are very strong. And based on what person's prakriti and all, we decide how to give it. The best way is to take a powder or a tablet along with milk.
Very interesting to know that these herbs, you just spoke about guduchi or say giloy as it is famous, and then is ashwagandha. And
yeah. So many herbs I want to talk about. Tulasi, as you know, Indian family.
Holy basil.
They are using for rituals and religious purpose and marriages. So the tulsi is also very good for when you have a cough, cold, congestion, and it's also having high level of cortisol. So
what does it have high level of? I missed out. Like what does it have high level of what? The tulsi has cortisol. Okay. Oh, nice.
I think tulsi is oxidative and anti-stress.
Wow.
It's a very anti-stress. Okay. So if you are having cold cough, see Benadryl and all, when you take, what happens? Your mind, you get into a good sleep. That's the chemical way of doing. But when you take tulsi, naturally you are sleeping.
Amazing.
Okay? Naturally, you are having a very good sleep, and it boosts your immunity and relieves your congestion and lungs. You will feel you can breathe nicely. Yeah, so we have other herbs like Vasaka.
So sorry to interrupt here, Anjumji, because when we're talking about Tulsi now how do we take Tulsi? In which form? A tablet form, a capsule form, as a Tulsi Arka, which is a concentrate of Tulsi, or as a powder, or any of them?
We have it in all forms. So Tulsi Arka is again concentrated form. And see, powders are generally the digestion and all, everything start right from the mouth itself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why powder are considered best because absorption start right from the
Tulsi powder, you're saying. Okay. And how do we consume this?
It has to be palliative, everybody cannot just take powders.
Yeah.
So it has to be palliative also. So those who cannot take, then they can take tablet or they can take juice. Fresh juice is good.
So what is the way of taking this Tulsi powder if somebody was to take? And other than that, of course, they can definitely take a tablet yourself.
These kinds of herb you can take. There is no much problem. You can take a quarter to half teaspoon or 1 to 2 tablets. You can take every day.
How do we take quarter to 2 teaspoon of this powder? In milk, in water?
Mix it with water.
Mix
We
it.
do mix and match also based on what the client is having problem. If he has too much, we also add some herbs in them. We add the sitabaladi, and we do a lot of mix and match. And
Mm-hmm.
then we ask them to take the honey again because honey is a scrapana which does the depletion of kapha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's called. That is why we tell them to take with honey,
Okay.
or you can also
Okay.
take warm water.
Or warm water. Okay. Perfect. And how about arka? What is your suggestion about tulsi arka?
Concentrated form, you can just take like 10 to 12 drops should be enough.
In water?
Yeah, water.
Lukewarm
It is,
water?
it is very easy to carry, you
Mm,
don't like every time generally in the flights and all we carry arc because it is
small.
small bottle and easy to access and easy to use.
Interesting. Because I've seen some people misusing these things. I know a person who said, okay, take tulsi arka. What I'm doing is I'm putting in 10, 15 drops straight into my tongue. Does it have a
Oh,
negative effect?
no. This is very concentrated form, and see, it will not get absorbed completely also. As I told you, how you have to drink water sip by
Sip,
sip.
sip. Right. Oh,
So, so to improve its action, mix in water and take it.
right. Okay.
Anupama always enhances the action of the herb.
So we have committed many errors while being self-vaidya, self-doctors, self-analysis. So that is why these nitty-gritties, I'm asking basic questions because this is where we falter. Even though we have a stuff, the supply available for of these herbs and, medicines, we still misuse them because we really don't know what is the way to use them. Thank you for
Because
these
it is
beautiful
easily
inputs.
accessible, people don't want, yeah, वहाँ पे कौन जाएगा, who will spend? They would rather like to go to doctor and spend their 2 to 3 hours waiting in waiting room, but they
No,
don't want to go. Okay, what is this? Why we have to
no,
go?
no,
Because
no. We need Vaidyas like you to guide us through.
it's a very deep science, and we have like studied almost 6 7 years, and then experience again. So it's not just that abhi aapne sun liya, you heard about this topic. Okay, now you know little bit. I know, I understand. You know little bit. You can do it, and you saw there from here, and then you saw from the Google, and people misusing. As you said, a lot of people are misusing, and then bad name is coming to Ayurveda. Oh, I did it. I didn't work
Yeah.
because you're not doing in a right way. Please consult whoever nearby practitioners and take their guidance. Under their guidance, please do this.
Understood. So don't neem hakim khatra e jaan kehte hain. That is where don't put your health in the bad situation by self-experimenting. I understand too many medicines are available in market. You just order online and everywhere, but still you have to take a right kind of consultation from experts.
There is nothing wrong in consulting because when you can go and spend 3 hours waiting room, I think you can do just for yourself, not for us.
Kada was, we didn't speak about
But
kada
it's
much.
again the same work which I told you, right? Like
Ginger.
the kada we can make with tulasi, ginger. Now you know a little bit about the spices. You can make kada in the same way, whatever I told.
Or you can use in food.
Yeah, you can add little munakka in that. Okay, if you want, yeah, munakka just to give palliative taste. So yeah, the same cordons you can use with a little bit of lemon, or you can do your mix and match.
Understood.
Yeah. So I think yeah, and the main is Ayurveda is not only focusing on body, right? Ayurveda talks about mind also. It's a union of body, mind, and spirit is what Ayurveda. That is why Ayurveda is very unique.
Right.
So now, because of this COVID-19 and people got locked down and they don't have anything to do and they are locked up in the house, they cannot spend their money, whatever they have accumulated all this time. So,
Catch me. I get it.
lot of, and generally, and they have valid reasons also because of jobs and other things, definitely, and the health issues. So a lot of stress is going on, and too much negative thinking and too much worrying, grief, which is called in Ayurveda bhaya, fear,
Right.
krodha, anger. All this makes your ojas also go down. Okay, we need to train our mind to be more positive. If the positive will follow your positive attitudes, will follow your positive things. It will take you to spiritual growth and mental growth for everything. It is really good. So I would request everyone. I know the situation is very bad and we are in a, but we can do this. It's not the end of the world.
Absolutely.
We can do this together. Just be little patience. Don't fear. Have trust and follow the diet regimen. Now you cannot go to gym, I understand. But for yoga and pranayam, you don't need to go anywhere. Right from your house, with your family. Then look at that beauty, how much bonding you can develop between your family and you can teach them. You don't need to be an expert to do this. Just stretching. Yoga is nothing to do with anything, just a stretching, stretching of your muscles and all, some poses you can do, okay, with the family and just a Surya Namaskar or if you don't know, then put it in the YouTube and just follow those things and just don't force your body. How much ever you can bend, that is enough because flexibility has to come. It will not come in just one day. And don't sprain your muscle. Okay, he was trying to touch his toes, then let me also try to touch my toes. Okay, so bend and stretch according how much flexible you are, and try to do yoga and keep yourself mind free from the negative thinking, some worrying, unnecessary worrying. If mind we need to train. See, every time when we are traveling in the flight, there is a turbulence. How many times we are always the moment the turbulence happens, we think, okay, it's going to crash. It's going to crash. We have trained our mind like that. How many times it has crashed, right? So we are unnecessarily inviting the worries and problems. Something has not happened. Simply we are thinking about it. All these are negative mind we are training. So train your mind to think positive, stay positive, and even the negative things come, just say okay, try to relax yourself, focus on your breathing, try to be more grounding. You can do a lot of pranayam is nothing again but just a breathing technique, how you are breathing. Okay,
Right.
see in anger how you are breathing. See when you are sitting in front of the beach and relaxed. See how your breathing is, right? So what happens when we are in anger and anything, we are the sympathetic central nervous system has two this one sympathetic and parasympathetic sympathetic. So sympathetic will kick in, and then flight and fight mode, body will go in that mode. And when body goes in that mode, automatically our heartbeat is raising.
Right.
Our the respiration is we are grasping for the air. So these are all the sympathetic nervous system's qualities because there is a release of adrenaline and all. Not only we are bringing body, we are damaging circulation is affecting, digestion is affecting. The digestion stops when we are in sympathetic nervous
Stress.
system kicks in. Yeah, when we are in stress. And instead of that, try to be calm, relax. Parasympathetic. We need more parasympathetic nervous system to kick in our body. That is possible with pranayam, which is a breathing technique. Okay, and
Yes.
that is pranayam, the breathing technique, which will kick in your digest and rest and digest. That will be kicked in. So different types of pranayam, breathing techniques we have. Anulom Vilom pranayam, which is alternate nasal breathing. You might have seen people doing this. So
Yes.
that you can do. You can do Bhramari pranayam. Okay, humming bee sound. Just close your eyes and make a bee sound.
Right.
It's very relaxing. Instantaneously, you will see how you are relaxed. If you are having any kind of stress or anything, just sit in one place. Focus on
Amazing.
your breathing. Yeah, focus on your breathing, abdominal breathing. How you're inhaling your body, how you're inhaling the air, how your chest is expanding, how the air is going in, and then how the air is coming out. Why I want you to do this? I want to focus this? Because you say, okay, I'm doing it, but your mind is somewhere.
Right.
So you need to train your mind. And I have heard people, I'm counting. You know, a lot of people will say, I'm counting, I'm doing the pranayams or like that. Why you want to put your concentration in counting? You want to tell people like, okay, I counted, I'm doing
To your
pranayam for
comfort, you
15
have to
minutes.
profess.
Yeah, just focus how that what happens, then you have more concentration going on your lungs, and then you see how it expand and how it collapse, how it is coming out.
So
And
don't
I
count.
also yeah, and I also do that when you're breathing, take all the positive things of the world, you know, all the positive, whatever you can think of it. Okay, I want happiness, I want peace of mind, and everything, whatever you want. And when you're exhaling out, take out all negative things. Okay. Okay, I'm taking out anger. I don't like that girl. I don't like this food. I don't like that. Take out everything. Oh, she's having a diamond necklace. I don't have this. I have car. I don't have Mercedes. You know,
I like
take
it.
out all these things.
Okay, so please throw away your jealousy, your hatred, your anger, your frustrations, your challenges and everything which are coming in your mind during that time.
Difficulties you
Pranayam is to
have,
profess peacefully, basically.
yeah, you're not able to achieve something. You are jealousy or this, everything. Take it out. Okay, okay. Take the bahar. You know, just throw it out.
Breathe out. Okay, got it.
Breathe out. Yeah. And then you see how relaxed you are, how
Oh my
breathing
God.
is going.
Interesting, interesting. So many good points. Of course, people can see all yoga asana and all. We usually have our special sessions. Again, I'll call a yoga specialist also for that to perform those pranayama and other procedures of yoga, which can be de-stressing you. Now, Anjumji, thank you. I mean, amazing session going on. I have some more questions in my list. Of course, want to know about it specifically. What has happened is, this was my personal experience as well. As soon as this COVID happened, I was coughing, and I coughed for almost 1.5 months, and I was self-isolated in my house, thinking I have COVID. Every time I'll call my doctor, physician, and he would laugh at me. I said, "Doctor, I'm dying. I cannot breathe. I'm having coughing and all, and I'm coughing. It's a dry cough, though. I don't know." So he says, every time he said, "No, you don't have COVID." I'm like, really? Because I was self-analyzing myself, of course. So finally, he said, "You have allergies and you don't have to worry." Now, for general public, it gets very confusing to understand, do I have allergy right now? Of course, the spring was high there, spring season started off with March, and, I started coughing. So people have allergies and they confuse whether they are having COVID with coughing. And of course, sinuses get inflamed. You feel feverish as well with allergy. And it just, finds itself parallel to that same ground, where COVID situations, symptoms are. How to help that and analyze, generally need some inputs on that.
COVID or allergies, whatever the topic you take, it comes again on the immunity. Immunity, you know. So because your immunity is low, that is why you are having this frequent attacks of cold, cough, and this congestion, sinus, whatever you have. Okay. So COVID, only two ways is to know that go and get your COVID test, and then you will have a very high fever in there, and then you will have a breathlessness if you are very severe and all.
Right.
So, see, a lot of people have allergies. Some people have throughout the year allergies. I think maybe you are having allergies during the spring season. So, please do take care. Otherwise, you are going to continue this, and then every year some people will have on the same time. And then they say, okay, abhi pehle, it used to be on the same time. Now it is like almost every time I am
Every
having
time, yes.
allergies. So, it's important to take care of your immunity. Okay. And stay away from cold things, cold stuff, and like we discussed a lot of things. You can take giloy and amla and all those things, and make sure that you are not getting cough and other things, because spring is the season we need to enjoy, right? Like everybody is not having allergies. Okay, if 50% the people are going out and enjoying, that means a problem in the spring or problem in you, that we have to know. That's you.
Thank you. See, it's psychological as well. Oh my.
You have to.
Right.
So it's a problem in you. That means you have ama, you have less agni, you have digestion issues. Okay, your diet needs to be changed. A lot of things. You meet me personally, we will. I will.
I have to come to you. I came to you earlier sometime last year. I have to come back to you, of course.
I wanted to tell my people, this Ayurveda, no, it is a, people think this is like a allopathy, and they take painkillers and then pain will come down and then they don't need to take. Ayurveda is like fixing from the root. Okay, so it takes time. The herbs are very potent. Don't think that herbs are not good. The herbs are very potent. They will help. But Ayurveda based on the lifestyle, diet, everything. And generally, what happens is people come at the end time to the Ayurveda. We see a lot of people who come at the end. Everywhere, all the pathis will go, and at the end they will come. It is too late.
You are saying it in a very refined manner, but still very full of humor there, of course. So yes, people come in the end. Ab kya kare, ho gaya sab kuch.
In initial stage, what Ayurveda also say prevention, right? First part is how to prevent it. If you come little early, we can also don't come too late. Even no one can help you. Not only us or anyone. Nobody can help.
Absolutely. So one thing now, when we were talking about these allergies, is there anything to do away with the allergy, like spring, the pollens and all, of course, they go, into our body, the nose and all.
Yeah. What you can do is you get a neti pot, that you start doing neti pot, cleansing your nose. So there is a little small pot which has a big handle in the front with a hole, and if you just put very close to your nose, filled with warm water and just stand in the sink and just bend your body and just keep it here, and the water flows from here. And those people who have a deviated septum or too much congestion or blockage, for them initially it is not easy. They will feel like, okay, it's not coming out or it will go back. You have to train. You have to do slowly and then take steam inhalation. This will all open up all your sinuses.
Right.
Yeah, and then again using the Nasya drops, what I told you, right? Then avoid anything eating cold, and little bit of milk also at that time. Milk is also little kapha producing. So if you're using milk, try with herbs only. Don't drink milk as it is. You can use with turmeric and some black pepper and all like that. You can use it. Yeah, do neti pot, and also thing is like when we inhale, right, the pole and everything, gold and stick, and then it will be making irritant and eye itching, and then some people are sneezing and all these things. I generally recommend people get like coconut oil, which is sorry, not coconut, castor oil, which is very sticky. That you can just put it near the nostrils.
So we can coat our nostrils a little bit with the castor oil. So in that way, the allergens will not stick. I mean, they will stick there only. They will not go inside.
Yeah. So, but then wear mask again. That is also good.
Mask is mandatory in any case nowadays. We are just now the ladies are finding ways to have matching masks with dresses. The new trend, new age. Men would also resort to some special masks, but then we can't evade the fact that COVID is not going to go away that fast, and we might have to resort to wearing masks publicly.
Yeah. Follow the CDC guidelines and whatever CDC guidelines are there. Social distancing, wearing your mask, washing your hands repeatedly. This is also told in Ayurveda also, there is one chapter called Janapada Dvamsa. This epidemiology and the epidemic pandemic is already explained 5,000 years back, how we have to take care. And the same guidelines has been explained, like the isolate yourself, sanitization, everything has been explained.
Amazing. Look at Ayurveda, the oldest scriptures, having that information there from primitive times. Amazing, amazing. Such an interesting session with you, Anjum. So many things. I still have questions, and there are some misconceptions. I would want clarification on them also. But then before that, about, when we speak about improving our immunity, you have already spoken about herbs and all. How much sleep is required to be fit?
Yeah, this is a very good question. Yeah, sleep minimum, it depends again what personality you are. Kapha people don't need that much sleep for their body.
Wow.
Okay. Pitta, they are okay with 7 to 8 hours, 6 to 7, 7 to 8 or 6 to 8, which you can take. Vata people, they need a little bit more more sleep compared to others.
So in
Okay.
general terms, again, we'll use this word now to put it through to the masses. People who have gastric disorders may sleep longer. People whose digestion is too fast, or pitta personality, or who are angry by, I mean, how do you equate? Okay, of course, that you would put scientifically, but pitta people can sleep 6 to 8 hours, and then kapha people can sleep less as well. You're saying that.
Yeah,
That's
because
the
they love sleeping actually, kapha people. If you allow them to sleep, they will sleep whole day. So again, the kapha will build up more. We don't want that to happen.
They should not sleep. Okay, sleep.
They should sleep
Getting your point.
less. Yeah.
Amazing. Oh my God.
It's a very deep science,
Wow.
It's not just reading some few books, you will get this knowledge.
I'm getting your point now. Wow. Okay.
Sleep is like you are healing inside, your body heals. When you sleep, you heal your body. So
I'm so curious, I'm thinking now I have to come to you very soon to assess my personality type. We have been living in some conceptions or misconception and everything should go away. I need to assess my personality type. People go to astrologers thinking about their personality types or whatever. People do numerologies, people do various other things, psychoanalysis for personality type. I never thought that Ayurveda has a root for the basic personality type, which covers everything there. We speak about anger, we speak about calm people, you speak about sleepy people, Oh my God, I'm so amazed at these facts, these are eye-opening facts in today's session, in fact. Thank you so much. Amazing. So nice. I still have another question now, a misconception which people think about, that people who follow Ayurvedic procedures, Ayurvedic herbs, Ayurvedic style of living, they don't eat non-vegetarian. Okay. Your inputs on that?
There are a lot of chapters in Ayurveda which has explained about the types of meats, how to eat them, and what qualities they have. They have explained what fish quality has. Peacock also has been explained. Lot of chapters are there. It has been explained. So Ayurveda doesn't say not to eat meat, but what you can do is we eat according to the personality. Kapha people, they don't need to eat, and this meat should be eaten as a nourishing for our body. Okay, there is a broth also has been explained in Ayurveda about nourishing people who are having a lot of emaciation. You will see a lot of skinny people and they don't have any fat or anything. Those people who had tuberculosis and all, they had a drastic weight loss, and all. For them, meat is a nourishing food. Okay. So Ayurveda nowhere says do not eat meat, but what meat, how we are getting now is a different topic for now. How we are that time they used to go and they used to hunt for it and they used to eat fresh meat. Now if you see the other part, like they're putting hormones and all, which is not healthy. So it again it is a bigger topic.
Right.
So all these things we need to consider, and then it is very heavy to digest also. So meat, if you are taking, then it should be taken in the lunchtime. Lot of herbs for digestion.
Meat in the sense anything chicken or whatever different kind of meats, chickens and everything.
Yeah, but in Ayurveda, nowhere it has said, and there are a lot of chapters has been written on the meat. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. And okay, amazing session today with a lot of information overload. Would I say that? No, I wouldn't. You educated us today. One thing is very, curiosity generating. When we go to a doctor, a normal allopathic doctor, they use stethoscope, okay, to assess our health. When we go to a Vaidya, they assess our nadi, pulse. And they assess so many things through that nadi pariksha or say pulse analysis. I need little inputs from you, the Vaidyas, Anjumji. What is the relevance of nadi pariksha and how it covers everything in analysis?
Yeah, nadi pariksha knowledge is a very deep science knowledge, and it doesn't come just like that. It needs a lot of practice, and you need to be a first calm and personality you need to have to achieve that. If you are having a disturbed mind and you are having a lot of your imbalances, then you cannot do it. You cannot do the Nadi Pariksha. Nadi Pariksha with our olden time, they used to tell which
Anjum
organ.
ji, ek baar ke liye, I'm just holding you. So some caller is calling, apparently looks like. I will take this call and I will come to the question. Hello? Hello?
Hi, can you ask a question?
Sure, please. What's your name? And you can ask the question. Sorry, I mean, we are at the brink end of the show though. Yes, what's your name?
My name is Liaquat.
Hi, Liaquat, and please place your question.
Question is, I've usually heard that Ayurveda medicines have no side effects. Is that true?
Okay, interesting question. Thank you so much, Liaquat, and Anjum ji, please reply to this, and we will come back to Nadi Pariksha after that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a very good question. See, Ayurveda medicine, whatever we have, supplements, we generally call the term supplements here. So they are all plant-based, you know. So we are using the root of the plant, leaves of the plant, bark of the plant. So it's not something to do with the chemical. Okay, and so this is not having any side effects. But some herbs you need to take under the guidance of practitioner, because some are heating agent are there, some are which we call the Ushna Virya, some are cold potency supplements are there. So like you don't need to, if you are having a bleeding issue, then you are eating herbs which are again heating to you, that's not going to help you.
Absolutely.
Right? So badnaam Ayurveda ho jata hai. So don't do self
Treatment.
Judgment. Please go to your nearby Ayurvedic practitioner, they're well versed, their knowledge, and ask them, take their guidance. Under their guidance, you can take.
Perfect.
So generally, they don't have any side effects.
Okay, thank you. So basically,
So
nice question. In fact, Nadi Pariksha now, when we speak about it, so you are saying a person who is very active or say, not calm and cool, the Nadi Pariksha would be a challenge to assess them?
You need to train yourself that you cannot just go. And when we are doing Nadi Pariksha, we go 7 layer deep. Okay, we are not just seeing what is your balance, which balance is the dosha is the balance.
No, sorry to interrupt. I did not get it right. When you're speaking about the person being calm, is it the Vaidya needs to be calm?
Vaidya.
Or the
Vaidya.
I got confused, completely confused there. Okay, so you are saying Nadi Pariksha can only be done by expert Vaidyas who are themselves cool and calm.
They need to keep themselves calm, because if you are going, you have to go and see 7 layer deep. You need to have your
own calm system.
So then you can resonate that inside what is happening.
Right.
Okay. So it's a very deep science. We need not have stethoscope 500, 600 years back. We did not have any diagnostic laboratory before, right? Did we have? No, right? So these are all new, the technology is growing, the new innovation, and then again in the Ayurveda we have Dashavida Pariksha, means we see a lot of things. It's just not Nadi. We also take history. At that time, we take all the body's imbalances, what is happening. It's again different types of parikshas we have. We see also Mala, Mutra, means feces, how it is, Mutra, how it is, urine, and we take our Agni, is, so a lot of things in combine, and then again Nadi. We will able to know what is going on. So I think it's better to use the modern technology, but we have our science. And now, yeah, we still have Vaidyas or we are doing Nadi. Yeah.
Very nice. So interesting to know that they undergo the 7 layers to assess a patient. And of course, the hyper patient, when I get hyper, of course, it'll be easy for the calm patient to assess me, or calm Vaidya to assess me. But the Vaidya also gets excited, cannot assess me then. Get your point there. Yeah. Interesting. Amazing session, Anjum ji. So many questions in my list, in fact. But yes, to sum it up for people under the COVID situation right now, if we were to speak, is more about right lifestyle, about right kind of food. Of course, cook food fresh now that you are at home. That is Dr. Vaidya Anjum is speaking about. And then about the kadas and concoctions. Do not overdose yourself because you really don't know what is your body type, whether you have a kapha personality, pitta personality, or vata personality, because all personalities will be using that kada concoction in different concentrations and quantities. This has been a misconception. In addition to this, even the herbs that you're using are also rationally used. And with the current situation developing right now, Anjumji, of course, it's a controversial topic right now in India with Baba Ramdev speaking about launching Coronil, a short treatment for COVID-19. Of course, there are issues going on, but apparently what we see is when you spoke about boosting immunity, we are speaking about ashwagandha being inside. With ashwagandha you take guduchi, that is giloy, and you also take tulsi, basically, right? Three of these things you are taking basically. So, and these are more so also related to these proposed drug that Baba Ramdev is speaking about, right? So this is nothing but immunity boosting, basically, herbs. Amazing.
Yeah. So instead of going and picking a few items, maybe they have come up with one herb where you have everything inside, where the Agni is also taken care, Rama is also taken care, and immune boosting also taken care. Combination of drugs might be there.
Amazing session today. We almost consumed quarter to 2 hours when we had to just stay for 1 hour with our audience. And I couldn't stop this show because I believe you've given so much of wonderful information to us. It is a whole package deal here right now to my audience to learn and understand the basics of Ayurveda and how we have evolved in understanding personality types. I mean, I was never aware of the facts that everybody is built up differently. But there are only 3 parameters for that. Vata, pitta, and this thing, kapha, basically. And whole system of humanity is being governed there, our health system. We were never aware of this. This is something not new, but we have never explored. And we should be considering, we should consider about these Ayurveda methodologies because we are anyways using herbs there in our lifestyle. Turmeric is part of our food. Coriander is there. Cloves are there. Peppercorns are there. Pepper is there. And so many other things. We are so enriched, Indian Americans and Indian community, of course, because the roots, India is the largest producer of spices as well, So we come with that confidence of having some great medicines in our kitchen countertops. But yes, you have to use the right way. And to do that, you need Vaidyas like Anjum and many other who are experts there. That is where the success of holistic treatment of Ayurveda goes. Anjumji, if you were to sum up certain things about, first of all, I would like to know if people have to reach out to you and get consultation from you, where are you based out of right now?
Yeah, right now I'm with Vedic. You can come here and you can check when I'm available here, and you can get the consulting book. And I will be happy to assist you.
Amazing, amazing. Definitely. I'm looking up for my next appointment with you to understand my personality type. Very curious about it. We assess through astrologers, we assess through all other different people and psychoanalysts also. We need to assess this body type for sure. And this is what the root of our own existence is basically. And to my viewers, of course, today's show has been sponsored by thevedic.store.com. And if you're watching this show today and if you want to order certain herbal or medicinal Ayurvedic medical supplies, you can always log on to VEDIC store.com. So thevedic.store.com, they are, of course, based out of New Jersey, Edison, New Jersey area, and they definitely do ship all the medicines all over, USA. And secondly, if you quote Mana TV as the code, you will get 5% discount on their medicines, the bill that you get basically. Today happens to be a great day for us to understand the ideology of Ayurveda and the way Anjum has educated us. I'm pretty sure my audience would be very happy with this special session. We will await your responses, your reviews on this show, and we will be definitely sharing, our videos for today's session as well. In case other people have missed it, they can always watch us on Mana TV again. Their telecast would be there again. And Jumji, final message to my audience now.
Yeah, thank you, Jyotsna, and thank you, Mana TV, for creating this wonderful platform to spread the knowledge of Ayurveda and giving me an opportunity. You guys are doing a wonderful job, in this COVID situation, and this wonderful your efforts and your things that shows dedicatedly that how you desperate enough to help the community. So this
Thank you.
Ayurveda science, I feel that it is for every individual. It's not just for Indians, So this is for everyone, every human being, whoever is on earth. So I encourage everyone to use the holistic approach of science. Thank you.
Appreciate. Thank you so much, Anjumji. Appreciate your efforts in planning out the whole show in a wonderful way and guiding us through. And we will look forward to have some more sessions with you, specifically on diseases like diabetes, overweight, hypertension, joint disorders, and many other things I have in mind. I would like to, invite you again. I hope to see you there. And to my audience, this was another show in series during the COVID lockdown, where I felt that I should bring some more information to keep you healthy and happy. Well, now with more shows that will be coming, there will be more focus on happy, healthy lifestyle and enrichment of your knowledge while you are at home, and about your career as well, because we have missed out. People have lost jobs. Things are not great. School students are passing out from, of course, high schoolers are coming out. Now, of course, the college grads are coming out. People are looking for internship. There would be some series we will be focusing on career development as well as right guidance to our youth and the people who have lost jobs. And well, we wish you all the very best. Stay safe, stay happy, and do think about this Ayurvedic session, what all you learned today. Thank you. Bye-bye.